The thoroughbred is a magnificent animal, bred for speed, bred to compete, the sport of kings.
Wow, West Coast has it by 6.
It's the all-new Let's Go Racing from Parks Casino and Racetrack. It's action-packed and fun for the entire family.
3 of them are right together with 1 furlong to go.
Let's Go Racing is brought to you by the Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association. It's fun to see them run.
Welcome to Let's Go Racing. I'm Danny Gibson, joining here with Dick Girardi. We're coming to you from Parks Racing to bring you all the latest in horse racing and news from around the country. On today's show, it's the Breeders' Cup. It's finally here. We're going to talk all about it and how these races are shaping up. It's going to be a beautiful Del Mar in sunny Southern California. Dick and I will talk all Breeders' Cup. And Belmont and Keeneland as well had some great races this week. But Dick, after we wrap, you're going to teleport and you'll get there by first post today.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Danny. I'm just going to New England. If I never had to fly again, I'd be happy because you get beamed there. It would be so much nicer. But I will be at Del Mar this week, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's the first time I've been on an airplane in a year and a half.
Well, hopefully it's as fast as the Concorde and you'll get there nice and fast. And but no Parks horses this year, but a lot of paths that led these horses from Parks to the Breeders' Cup Championship races.
Yeah, no question. Look, a couple of Parks horses tried to get in, like Hollywood Talent, just was too deep on the also eligible. But the good news is, if you're here September 25th and saw the Pennsylvania Derby and Hot Rod Charlie and saw Clariere win the Cotillion and saw the Gallant Bob, you're going to see them all today at Del Mar. The Parks is going to have a big play, the big races from Parks, major play today at Del Mar.
Well, that's very exciting. And lots of international horses competing. That's something that's really cool. We know the Euros also have a great contingent in the turf races. We're going to see a lot of horses from Japan and the South American countries.
It's really cool. More Japanese horses than ever, more international horses than ever. People were wondering, will they come to Southern California? Who wouldn't come to Southern California, especially to Del Mar? They're there, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we might even get to see a flying dismount if Jockey Frankie Del Torre wins a race, which he very possibly could. But we're going to get to more Breeders' Cup. Let's get to some Parks racing. It was Monday's 9th race. It's our local race of the week, and it's a $25,000 starter allowance going 7 furlongs for the $30,000 purse with a field of 8. The number 3 did scratch, and our post-time favorite is number 5, Irish Riviera, for trainer Jamie Ness, and a very consistent horse. I can see why he gets a favorite here.
Yeah, Jamie Ness, Ruben Silvera, Jagger, they've won a few races together in 2021 and in 2020, so yeah, why wouldn't they be favored?
And the handsome gray dropped anchor takes second choice for our Hall of Famer Freddie Velasquez at 3-1. With his regular rider Anthony Salgado, he's been riding and winning for Freddie a lot lately.
Yeah, been off since July, Danny, but has some really solid paper all the way through. Just does not run very many bad races.
Well, we're going to send it up to Chris Griffin with the call of our local race of the week here at Parks Racing.
Dropped anchor with the nose in front. Hard set now as Lavery is trying to keep up with this leader with 4 furlongs left to travel. It gets real tight here for quite a few. Mr. Thrifty's going to get shuffled back with Screensaver. Successful Cure stayed clear of all that mix. Shuffled back to last was What's to Blame. Just had to check off of heels. Fast Bob has had clear running. Has been wide, but now has taken the 4th position. 23-2, 46-2 for a half-mile time. They approach the quarter-mile pole. Here's Successful Cure, 3 wide. Lavery down to the inside, dropped anchor. Big move coming from Fast Bob, and Fast Bob is right in behind Successful Cure, who's your new leader. Successful Cure, and those yellow blinkers is sprinted clear, is up by a length and a half. Fast Bob has got some clear running room now to chase this leader, who's got plenty up front. Lavery is hanging in there as well for a minor share. Irish Riviera, and also Screensaver late. Successful Cure had a nice trip. Dexter Haddock, give him a 3rd. Successful Cure is your winner.
And the Pennsylvania bred Successful Cure, actually the longest shot of the board, gets the win at 21-1 with jockey Dexter Haddock, who we will talk a little bit about later.
Yeah, just that sweep move, Danny, you could kind of see early the Successful Cure was going to run way better than the odds, and surely did. Won easy. It was the old 9-8, both sweepers coming from the back, 1-2 at Parks.
I talked to Dexter after the race, and he was having a tremendous day, as we'll talk about later in the show, but he said he just had a ton of horse. After the break, he just kind of sat and waited to make his move as you see him getting the win.
Yeah, I knew who won. I watched the replay. You obviously have seen it live, and I said, boy, that horse looks like the winner the whole way, for sure.
Absolutely, and a solid field. So, well, it's time for us to head to our first break. When we come back, we're going to dive into more horse racing and lots more Breeders' Cup talk, so stick around. We'll be right back.
Jockey's Warrior is in hand. It's got a 3-length cushion.
Looking to join the thrill and excitement of thoroughbred racehorse ownership? Pewter Stable can get you started. With more than 25 years of experience under the leadership of Greg and Kate DeMasi, Pewter Stable is one of the industry's leaders in racing partnerships, winning hundreds of races and millions of dollars at racetracks all over the Mid-Atlantic, including New York. No markup, no management fees makes our partnerships unique and affordable. We are Pewter Stable.
If you want action and you want it now, you got to get the new Parks Racing mobile app. Wager and watch thoroughbred and harness racing from around the world. With the Parks Racing mobile app, it's easy to open and fund your account. Then place your wagers and cheer on your horse as they thunder down the stretch. With the Parks Racing mobile app, you'll easily make withdrawal requests, view the previous day's replays and results. Plus, open any new account now and you'll be automatically enrolled in the Parks Rewards program. The more you wager, the more you earn. Get the new Parks Racing mobile app and get in on the action.
The Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association is the advocate for Parks Racing's horsemen and has worked hard to secure better lives for the hundreds of trainers and their families that work in the thoroughbred racing industry. Our horsemen benefit from medical coverage, trainer pension plans, and increased purses. Thanks to these horsemen, racing at Parks is the very best, providing entertainment for you and the entire family. The Pennsylvania Horsemen are proud to be part of the community and introduce a new generation of fans to the sport of kings.
Welcome back to Let's Go Racing. As you know, it's Breeders' Cup Saturday, and we're going to talk all the more Breeders' Cup right here. Let's start with the Classic, the big race, $6 million purse. They go a mile and a quarter. And our favorite is Knicks Go, a well-deserving favorite, morning line 5-2 with regular rider Joel Rosario.
Yes, with Brad Cox, Danny, 7 for 7 at 2-turn races and has won them all convincingly. I think the key moment in this race is going to be right at the beginning. Is Knicks Go going to be able to clear Medina Spirit? And if so, how will anybody catch him? And I think watch those first 100 yards, and it's fascinating because you got Joel Rosario on Knicks Go, Johnny Velasquez on Medina Spirit, and what do they have in common? The same agent, Ron Anderson. So it'd be interesting to see what the strategy is here, because they're both kind of need-the-lead types. Knicks Go for sure.
Medina Spirit's going to have a little advantage being on the outside, but I agree. This first race is going to be run in the first quarter, and it should be very interesting to see how this folds and if it's going to set up for a closer at that point.
Yeah, look, if they're going too fast and they're battling, then you can start thinking about horses like Essential Quality, who's had just an incredible year, is obviously the favorite for Horse of the Year right now. Look, if Knicks Go wins this race, he's Horse of the Year. If Essential Quality wins, he's Horse of the Year. Others, then you can start debating, but those two, there's no debate, and they'll be the first and second choices in the race. And I think the third choice, it's either going to be Medina Spirit or Hot Rod Charlie. It'd be interesting to see how people bet it. Hot Rod Charlie, obviously our Pennsylvania Derby winner. And Danny, the PA Derby has come up even bigger than we thought. The third horse out of there, we're going to see him in a few minutes up in New York. And a horse that ran out of the money also ran gigantic. We'll get to that in a minute when we talk about our national races, but the PA Derby number is coming up gigantic. Look out for Hot Rod Charlie.
Definitely shaping up to be a key race, and I'm going to include Tripoli as well. I think him and Irad have an inside trip. They might be there to pick up the pieces.
Likes the track, obviously won the Pacific Classic at Del Mar in August.
But good luck to Brad Cox and those two grays. It's going to be a very exciting race. And the girls are next, the fillies and mares. It's the Breeders' Cup Distaff. They're also going a mile and a half for $2 million. And Latruska, I mean, she's the heavy favorite. She has done no wrong. She'll get Jockey Irad again.
Yeah, she missed by, what, a head of being undefeated this year, 6 out of 7. Danny, how about lifetime? 17 of 21. This horse was in Mexico, came up here, just does nothing but win. She had that fascinating, bizarre workout the other day. I don't know if you saw it, but another worker jumped in the middle of it. It wasn't what they wanted. Nobody knows exactly what that means, but Latruska will be favored. Our Cotillion winner, Clariere, of all the horses I've watched work in the last couple of weeks, nobody has worked better than Clariere. I don't know if she's going to be good enough to win, but whatever she's got, she's going to give it in this race.
Well, hopefully that'll get Ricardo Santana off the duck. He's 0 for 80 right now. I know that's not that mind space he wants to be going into the distaff. But Clariere, she was extremely impressive looking when she was here. She has had a long campaign. I just hope that doesn't wear on her.
Yeah, and we obviously have to mention Malafat, who's the leader in the clubhouse for 3-year-old filly champion. She is also a horse that's done nothing wrong, just that close to being undefeated. as I would call a co-feature, this is one hell of a race.
Absolutely. And I love that Latruska, they train her without the saddle.
Yep.
She's a horse that, you know, she already knows what to do. They're just keeping her fit, keeping her happy.
And that's another race where the first couple hundred yards will tell a big story, because there's the Devil is in there who has speed.
Yep.
There's a Baffert filly with speed. Obviously, that's how Latruska runs.
Absolutely. Well, good luck to the girls. It's going to be one heck of a race. And the Breeders' Cup Sprint, another one that is going to be a thriller. 6 furlongs, $2 million. And Jackie's Warrior, who won our Gallant Bob Stakes here with Joel Rosario, make a case to say he's the fastest horse in this race.
Yeah, he is the fastest horse. He's going to be heavily favored. He should win. We mentioned in one-turn races, he only lost once. In the race he lost, he missed the break, barely lost. It's going to be a Parks day. There's a chance you could see Parks horses winning all 3 of these races. Obviously, Clariere's got the toughest, but I will be surprised if Jackie's Warrior does not win. I think he's just that good.
Me too. I think with a clean break, he's home free. And Matera Sky, always enjoy watching him on Dubai World Cup night. I'll be keeping him in my exotics as well.
And Firenze Fire making the final start of his career. What a cool story he has. 14 wins. We saw him here win the Gallant Bob a couple years ago. The West Coast horse with the best chances, Dr. Scheibel, ridden by Flavian Pratt on the outside.
Absolutely. It's going to be one heck of a race. Well, that's time for us to head to another break. When we come back, we're going to get into some more Breeders' Cup talk and more racing and our Jockey and Trainer of the Week. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Foolish Ghost is still there. On the outside, New York Traffic now moves into second.
Turning for Home is a nonprofit that has provided nearly 2,800 former racehorses with a safe retirement. The program was created through the foresight of the Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association.
We all love animals, and to give back to something that helps us so much, it's a great thing.
Responding to the need for a better system that addressed the uncertain future for the retiring equine population at Parks Racing, the PTHA rallied horsemen to support the program.
These horses can do anything from hunter jumpers to western to therapeutic riding.
Turning for Home became the first on-track retirement program at a year-round racetrack.
We want to make sure that our horses that have run so well for us over the years get the great opportunity to get a new vocation.
Out of everything that we've done in Pennsylvania for racing, I think that's the thing we can be most proud of.
If you would like to help these amazing animals find a great second career and forever home, please give us a call or contact us at turningforhome.org.
Welcome back to Let's Go Racing. Our Jockey and Trainer of the Week is brought to you by Turning for Home, our racehorse retirement program right here at Parks Racing. And our Jockey of the Week is Dexter Haddock. He had an incredible Monday. He won 3 races, including our local race of the week. And you got to love his nickname, the Black Panther, dubbed to him by his agent, Carlos Mercado.
Yeah, I love it. I know when we did a story on him, his agent, a couple of years ago, Danny, such a cool guy, such a great agent, and they do really well here and will continue to do well. It's a talented rider.
Absolutely. And our Trainer of the Week is Uriah St. Louis. He won Best of Ohio Endurance Stakes 3 years in a row at Forewarned in Mahoning Valley.
Yeah, Forewarned goes out there for that Ohio bred stake. It's a 1.25 miles, right up his alley. Then he came right up the rail, won going away, and as you said, 3 years in a row. Uriah is very cagey. He runs him in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. Well, he's not really competitive there, but get him in with those Ohio breds. So look out, 100 grand again for Uriah. Congratulations.
Absolutely, congratulations. Well, we're going to head into some national coverage brought to you by the Chapman Auto Group. If their emblem's not on the back of your car or truck, well, you did pay too much. We're going to start at Belmont Park. Last Saturday, it was their New York Breds Day. It's a $150,000 Hudson Handicap for New York Breds, going 6.5 furlongs. And our favorite is our boy, New York Traffic, the number 8 at 4 to 5, and he gets Irad Ortiz.
Yeah, John Finelli, of course, owns horses around here. Cassius King, Chuck Zackney. The horses run against all the good horses, Danny, in the Preakness, in the Derby last year, in the Haskell, and even this year, Charlestown Classic. He's finally back in against New York Breds, heavily favored.
Where he belongs. And Judge and Jury gets our second choice for trainer Danny Gargan, but Luis Saez at 3 to 1.
Yeah, another solid horse. Danny Gargan, I'm a big fan of his. I think he's really sharp.
Yeah, me too, and I love that we share the initials, DG. Well, here's the call of the $150,000 Hudson Handicap.
Foolish Ghost and Amundsen go out for the early lead. Judge and Jury is down at the rail. In between horses, Gemography. On the outside, Bronx Bomber now moves up. Then it's the favorite, New York Traffic. A gap of almost 4 lengths to the 2 trailers, Chestertown and Our Last Buck. It is Foolish Ghost, who's down on the inside, leading here by a head. Amundsen on the outside, runs in second, the opening quarter mile, 22 and 1/5 seconds. It is Foolish Ghost with the lead here by a head. Amundsen's on the outside in second. New York Traffic has now advanced into third. On his inside is Gemography in fourth. Judge and Jury has dropped back. On the outside is Bronx Bomber, then Chestertown, who looks to rally down at the rail. And Our Last Buck is last as they come for the quarter pole. Foolish Ghost is still there. On the outside, New York Traffic now moves into second. Amundsen drops back. At the rail is Gemography. And here is New York Traffic now making his move to the front. New York Traffic is on the lead here and is opening up. New York Traffic in front as Chestertown moves into second now. New York Traffic pouring it on here in the stretch. It is New York Traffic who will win the Hudson Handicap by 8 lengths.
Well, New York Traffic gets the win, the big gray back in the winner's circle. And what a beautiful race. I mean, he won by 8 lengths. Very impressive.
He was impressive. And look, he just needed to drop down in class a little bit. He's obviously a talented horse, and he's given effort time after time. And good for them. And look, this horse has won $800,000 for John and Chuck and the crew. So he's a really good bargain, New York Traffic.
Absolutely. Congratulations. Everything kind of went their way. They had the outside post shortening up. Irad, the rainy day. Yeah. And it was a gray exacta. Chestertown, the expensive 2-year-old purchase, got second.
Yeah, mere $2 million for Chestertown.
Well, we're going to stay up at Belmont Park. It was the Empire Classic Handicap, again for New York breds, $300,000 purse, going 1.1 miles. And our favorite is American Revolution, heavy favorite at 2-5 for trainer Todd Pletcher with Jockey Luis Saez.
Now, he's a 3-year-old going against older, but back with New York breds, was a really good third behind Hot Rod Charlie, Midnight Bourbon, and the PA Derby, so obviously fits very nicely in this spot.
And the ultra cool Mr. Bluff gets second choice at 6-1 for trainer John Kimmel.
He is ultra cool. He just gives, he's another one of these old campaigners that gives big effort. How about 17 lifetime wins out of 47 starts?
Here's the call of the Empire Classic Handicap.
Mr. Buff is now right alongside of Seafoam. The two of them are heads apart for the lead, with American Revolution sitting just off them in third. Captain Bombastic is down at the rail, and alongside his 3 jokers. Then it's 3 lengths. Back to Danny California, Tiergan, as they continue to the far turn. Seafoam is the leader. Mr. Buff in second. American Revolution on the outside. Captain Bombastic is down at the rail and gaining some ground now. Then it's 3 jokers. Danny California is moving up, along with Tiergan, who's on the extreme outside. So it is Seafoam now challenged by American Revolution as Mr. Buff drops back. Captain Bombastic has moved into third. Danny California is next in fourth. Then 3 jokers and Tiergan on the outside, and they're at the top of the stretch. Here's American Revolution now to take over the lead from Seafoam. 3/4 went in 1, 10-1. It is American Revolution with the lead in the stretch as they come down for the furlong marker. American Revolution has opened up on this field. American Revolution is in front by a half-dozen lengths, and the 3-year-old is going to win the Empire Classic on this Empire Showcase Day.
And American Revolution, I mean, just breaks well, has a perfect trip, and gets the win with Jockey Luis Saez.
Yeah, won by almost 12 lengths, Danny. And again, this flatters the form of Hot Rod Charlie and the Pennsylvania Derby. Finished third in that race, pretty distant third. Gets a 108 buyer in this race. And you remember the Bill Modler Speaker's Corner that was also finished out of the money in the PA Derby? Well, he won an optional claimer Friday in New York, coming out of the PA Derby. He got a 109 buyer. So Hot Rod Charlie has just moved way up in my mind, and I like them to start with. Look out for Hot Rod tonight on NBC primetime. Absolutely.
You got to root for those guys. They're
Yes,
so
you
cool,
do.
and they were here at Lava Man. And you know Lava Man's giving them some tips before this big race.
Of course.
Well, we're going to head over to Keeneland. It was the Hagyard Fayette Stakes, $200,000. It's a grade 2 going 1.1 miles. And our favorite is King Fury for our friend Kenny McPeak, and he gets Brian Hernandez at 9-5.
Kenny had a weekend down there. I mean, he was winning races all over the place. King Fury, remember, he was going to be in the Derby. Tyson Fury was coming to see him, and then they had a scratch right before the race. But second in the Ohio Derby, 5th in the Travers, really nice horse. Most recently, just crushed a race down at Churchilltown.
Yeah, I remember he spiked the fever. And our second choice is Code of Honor for Shug McGahee, gets Tyler Gaffleone at 2-1.
Yeah, Code of Honor is closing on $3 million. Ran really good in the Derby, ran in the Breeders' Cup Classic. He's been in all the big races for sure.
Here's the call, the Hagyard Fayette Stakes.
Independence Hall is the leader. Independence Hall against the rail, 24.24 seconds the time for that opening quarter. Leads at 3/4 of a length. Code of Honor goes second a length. Militarist third. Major Fed fourth up on the outside. King Fury is fifth in between horses, just over 3 lengths off the lead for the move up the back stretch. And then further back it is Fort Peck, Night Ops, and Manhattan Up, who trails as they continue their journey up the back stretch here at Keeneland, with Independence Hall the leader for Javier Castellano. First half mile went 48.38 seconds. Code of Honor just off the leader's flank in second a length. Militarist is third by a neck. And then Major Fed, who's fourth up on the outside. King Fury still between horses in fifth, still 3 lengths from the front, followed by Fort Peck, Night Ops next to last, and Manhattan Up is the trailer. Midway on the final turn, Independence Hall the leader, 3/4 of a length. Code of Honor is second by 3. King Fury being asked for more now. He is third as they make the move off the far turn. Major Fed is fourth on his outside. Top of the stretch at Keeneland and the Hagyard Fayette. Code of Honor comes after Independence Hall, and these two begin slugging it out, coming toward the 8th pole. Independence Hall with the lead. Code of Honor giving everything he's got. Independence Hall is stubborn and opening up in the stretch. Final furlong for Independence Hall. Javier Castellano moving by the 16th pole. Independence Hall wins the Hagyard Fayette.
Independence Hall kept those white silks nice and clean, getting the lead, and keep on going with jockey Javier Castellano.
Yeah, it's your buddy Michael McCarthy. Of course, he's got CC in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint today. And this horse ran a pretty good race in the Pegasus behind Nick's Go, and has always been pretty solid. And love Michael McCarthy. I know he's one of your favorites.
Me too.
Danny was all over Ron Bauer at the Preakness this year. Independence Hall won this race easy, but with a 102 buyer.
Yeah, very excited for them. Always thought Independence Hall was a solid horse. And I'm very excited about seeing CC in the Filly and Mare Sprint today.
Against the Great Gummy.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk more about the Breeders' Cup. It's Ion Racing. Obviously, all eyes will be at Del Mar today for the Breeders' Cup. And let's start with the turf sprint. I mean, what an interesting race. 5 furlongs. It will be decided at the break.
Yeah, this is usually chaos. This is not a race I typically get involved with because luck plays such a gigantic factor in here,
Danny. And post position.
Post positions, riders. Yeah, like you said, if you break poorly, who knows what could happen. The really neat Pennsylvania-bred Caravel is in here. I think in the Turf Monster here on PA Derby Day, I think she had no chance. I think she hated the ground. I think put a line through that race. Her other form, Danny, is pretty good. I think she's a contender in here against obviously a very strong field, including the defending champ class slippers.
Absolutely. And Golden Pal is going to be he won the Breeders' Cup in the juvenile turf sprint last year. He gets IRAD again. And I love Gear Jockey with Jose Lascano. He's going to be a little bit big of a price for Rusty Arner, but I'm definitely going to keep him on my ticket.
I thought his last race at Kentucky Downs was sensational, and Golden Pal's going to be in front. I think he is the speed of the speed. And we need to mention the Parks horses that could have been in here, right? The Critical Way won the Parks Dash, but he's on the AE. He's almost certainly not going to get in. And our winner of the Turf Monster, Hollywood Talent, is way down on the AE. He's not going to get in. I think somehow we need to find a way to get one or both of these races as a win and you're in. There's not that many win and you're ins for the turf sprint, so why not one of these Parks races, because there's not that many turf dashes anyway.
Absolutely. And it's such a unique sprinting turf. Like you said, there's not that many in the Mid-Atlantic region. That's why a lot of the times you see the girls running against the boys.
Yeah, so unfortunately neither one of them made it in, but I understood. It's not like it's some disaster that they didn't get in, but it would be nice to have a win and you're in, especially maybe for the Turf Monster. That's a pretty good race.
Yep, graded race. Well, let's lobby for that. Let's get a Breeders' Cup win and you're in right here at Parks Racing. We are ready. Well, let's go right into the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. I mean, what do you think, Silver State? He drew the 1.
Yeah, Silver State, I thought he was the best horse in the Parks Dirt Mile here, Danny. He missed the break, came running, looked like he had to win the race, and then Mind Control came back to beat him. Now, Mind Control is out. It was not entered. Spike the Fever had gone out there, but look, this race is all about Life is Good. I don't know how he's not winning this race. I think he's the most likely winner of the races today. He's going to be in front. The only other potential speed is Ginobili. I don't think they're beating Life is Good, and I could easily see Life is Good over Silver State.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. Of course, I'm going to be rooting for Snapper Sinclair. I love the City Zips for trainer Steve Asmussen, but I think you're right. Life is Good is just the heavy. Well, let's talk one more. Breeders' Cup Turf. A huge race. It's a 1.5 miles, and there's so many horses in here that really have a shot. I think it's very wide open. United, we know he loves Del Mar. What about Astronaut? He's a little bit of a longer shot, but he gets Victor Espinoza again. And I mean, this horse is very consistent at these longer distances.
Yeah, it's fascinating. So how do you evaluate the California/New York horses versus the Euros? That's really what this comes down to. We have the defending champ, Tarnawa, who ran an unbelievably good race in the Arc on that deep, heavy ground. She finished second. You got Japan for Aidan O'Brien. Tribuvan and Acclimate are going to be out there battling early. I mean, there's just so many good horses. Walton Street, Gufo, I mean, Tiona. It's just a star-studded event, and domestic spending for Chad will probably be the American favorite in here. Interesting, Flavien Prat, typically the rider for United, says, no, I'm out. Even though he finished second in this race 2 years ago, he's riding domestic spending for Chad Brown.
He's been doing very well with Chad Brown, so that should be very telling, but it's going to be a great race. Well, it's time for us to head to another break. When we come back, news and notes. We'll be back right after this break.
Racehorses are pampered,
treated with care, and loved.
Nothing is more important than their health and their safety.
We do right by them,
and they do right by us.
The hard-working folks
who proudly earn our living
in Pennsylvania's horse racing
and breeding industries.
Horse racing is a lot of fun.
But it's so much more.
It provides tens of thousands of jobs.
Jobs, and billions in economic impact each year.
All across the Commonwealth.
Horse racing in Pennsylvania, it's a winner.
Here in Pennsylvania, we're proud of our breeding program, the best in North America. But we're also proud to be leaders in this industry. The PA Horse Breeders Association is funding cutting-edge research at Penn Vet to detect gene doping in thoroughbreds. And we endorsed the SAFE Act to help end the slaughter of American horses. Plus, we're pleased to support the aftercare programs set up by our horsemen's groups. Just a few of the reasons why you should join us in Pennsylvania, the premier place to breed and race.
Did you know the Pennsylvania horse racing industry provides health care and pensions for thousands of workers who in turn spend their income supporting local communities? And we do it with zero tax dollars while creating tens of thousands of jobs.
Welcome back to Let's Go Racing. Our news and notes is brought to you by the Granny Fund, contributing to continuing education for our backstretch community. Breeders' Cup, I mean, what more can we say? Who are you looking forward to seeing? 3 horses specifically, Danny. The 3 best workouts I saw leading up. Life is Good, unbelievable at Belmont Park. Hot Rod Charlie, tremendous at Del Mar. And Essential Quality was off the charts good at Churchill Downs. So those are the 3 I'm really looking forward to, the 3 best 3-year-olds in the country. And Horse of the Year on the line in the Classic. Can't wait. Absolutely. What do you think of Latruska? You think if she wins the distaff and Essential Quality doesn't win, or Nixco, you think she could make a case?
Yeah, absolutely. She'll get votes, for sure.
Well, it's going to be an exciting race for sure. All eyes will be glued. You can catch it on NBC Sports. Coverage starts at 2:30 p.m. and national coverage on NBC will start at 8 p.m. Because the race goes out at about 8:40 p.m.
Yeah, 8:40, so prime time in the East, 5:40 out at Del Mar. You get to see the Classic, which is the culmination of the greatest 2 days of racing in the U.S. every year.
Absolutely. Well, I will not be teleporting to Del Mar. I'll be right here at Parks Racing doing some simulcast racing with my Parks Racing mobile app. Come hang out with us. And good luck to everyone. Hope you have a great Breeders' Cup. But we're still racing here Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. New post time 12:25. Come check us out. We will see you next week on Let's Go Racing.